Welcome to the Comic Binge. I am your host Paul Herman. Thank you for joining us for this very special occasion. Very excited to talk about this crazy show we're going to be talking about today. I've got my wife on the phone, which is pretty exciting. So, yeah, it's going to be pretty nuts. And yeah, I'm excited to talk about all this. Bring her on here without further ado, my wife, Morgan Knight. Herman, hello. Still, 1 second. That's me. Now you can talk.
Hi. Thanks
Hello.
for unmuting me.
It's been well, sometimes you just need to be muted, if you know what I mean. So
yeah, I know you would say that.
Anyway.
So.
Wow. Well, everyone, this has been a short interview. Thank you so much. Happy Valentine's Day.
Happy Valentine's Day.
I know. I think I told you that this morning. I think I did. Yeah, I did. Okay. So today we're going to do a fun little episode. I thought it'd be exciting for us anyway. I think for us to kind of talk about like how comics kind of shaped our lives a little bit, like our relationship. And so, yeah, I don't know. It's going to be interesting. I have a lot of fun ideas I have for tonight to kind of warm us up here. So I guess I'll kind of start off with this here. I'm going to ask you some questions, Family Feud style, okay?
Oh, okay.
Family Feud, okay? So here's the deal. I've got one moment here. My computer's all messed up. Sorry, my computer is just crazy now. There we go. Okay. So my questions are this. I'm going to ask you questions, and you're going to give me your best answer, okay?
Okay.
So first question is now. Morgan Knight, Herman, who is my second favorite superhero?
Second favorite?
Yes.
Miracle Man or Moon Knight?
Wow.
No?
You are
totally wrong.
You are totally wrong. I'm really? Surprised. Come on. Yeah, man. Hello.
Really? I didn't know Batman was like your second favorite. You talk about Miracle Man nonstop all the time.
Recently, because he get probably on the omnibus you got me for Christmas.
You've really been talking a lot about Miracle Man, so.
Because you like it. That's why.
Okay, well, I did not know Batman was your second fave.
Moon Knight Moon Knight's a good choice. It's funny. I actually we'll revisit that here in a moment.
Okay.
So next question. My question to you. What was my introduction to comic books? What comic series?
Ooh. So I know it was when you were a little kid, and you used to get comics at the Tom Thumb.
You're already way off.
What? Really?
Yeah, you're way off.
No, you would go to and you would go to Everett Comics and Cards.
Man, you're bad at this.
God, it's because I just tune out when you talk to me.
Fair.
You know what?
Fair.
I don't know.
I'm a little shocked right now. I shouldn't be shocked, but
tell me.
Right there, Secret Wars comics.
Secret Wars? What the hell's Secret Wars?
God, everyone! I failed everyone as a husband. All right, so here's the next set. It's obviously Spider-Man's number one. We all know that. But my question is, who are my other favorite Marvel superheroes?
Who are your other favorite Marvel superheroes?
Mm-hmm.
All of them.
Wow.
You do all of them.
Wow.
Hey, you like what's that guy's name who Galactus?
You are struggling today. You are struggling.
You like the Avengers? You like Captain America?
We got one. We finally got one.
I was gonna say Captain America first, even. Oh, Daredevil Doy. I should have known that. Hulk, I wouldn't. I mean, I know you like Hulk, but I didn't know you like loved Hulk.
I love Hulk.
Okay, well.
So you failed this. All right. So here's the next
Okay.
one. What comic series did my brother, your brother-in-law, Derek, bring home when I was in kindergarten that I loved?
Animal Man.
Oh my God. Are you serious right now? Animal Man?
That's serious. I don't know.
Freaking kidding me?
See, I should just go with Batman every time. Hey, at least I know that the Dark Knight is Batman.
All right, last question for you, and we'll move on. Okay. Name some of my favorite like storylines or comic books I love to read.
Some comic books that you love to read?
Like my favorite. Okay, how about this? Let me rephrase that. Some of my favorite comics of all time. You can name me a series. It can be a character.
Okay, The Killing Joke.
Way off already. Wow.
What's that Halloween one? The Long Halloween? I don't know.
I wish Ryan Lauer were here right now.
Who?
Ryan Lauer. It's a long story.
Okay. Well, I don't know. I don't know.
Are you serious? You're gonna give up?
I just feel like that's way too big of a question. Like, there's so many. Okay, I said Miracle Man before. Okay.
Oh my God, this is you have.
I've never even heard of Craven's Last Hunt. Watchmen, Doy, like everyone loves Watchmen. Kingdom Come, never heard of it. None of that. Never talked about.
Maybe to educate yourself before you wreck yourself.
Okay, I'd love to ask you some questions about me and my interests.
All right, let's go.
Would be going
let's go for it. Let's do it.
Oh,
whatever. Yeah. Well, okay, let's go for it. Let's try it out. Let's do it right now.
It's okay. I will. We'll talk later.
Hold on. This is Adam. Yeah, exactly. That's exactly. Yeah. Well, I'll tell you a story later. I can't wait to show Ryan Lauer this. He'll die. He will die, for many different reasons. All right. So I want to talk about before we get into your recommendations. It's going to be a short episode today. How would you describe our relationship with comic books together? Because we both grew up in different ways with comics, obviously. And, and obviously talk about your history with comics, growing up and everything and what they mean to you. But, and then talk about how like it's I guess affected our relationship, but also like, just how we relate, to the medium together and just how it's kind of, just been a part of our relationship since we've been dating.
Yeah, so I actually did not really read comics growing up at all. This is gonna sound like so stupid, and very pretentious. But
don't worry,
I really started getting into comics as an English major at UW, because we read a lot of comics. It started becoming a more acceptable, I guess, format during the time that I was going through school. And so it was something that was worthy, obviously, of critical reading. And so we read I remember reading Julie Doucette, and that really kind of set me off on being into sort of art comics. And then I would say when we got together, you introduced me to Watchmen, obviously, which blew my mind, and also the Alan Moore run of Swamp Thing. And I think, that kind of obviously when we were first dating, we would end up going to comics books stores a lot because you were always having to pick up your comics. And so as I went with you, I would kind of find more and more really arty comics that I was into. And so I think that was an opportunity for me to really jump in a lot and go from there. And now it's one of my favorite things. And I think, even though you make fun of me a lot for my arty comics, I think that's always something that we can kind of connect over. I think our, as we've gotten older, our interests have kind of diverged. They've never been
What are you
super
talking about? What
they've
are
never
you?
been
This
super
is
like in
welcome to
lockstep
therapy
anyway.
session for the Hermans. Thank you very much. As we've gotten older, I pretty much have just drifted away from you forever.
I
You
mean,
know.
pretty much. But no, but like I think that
Wow.
that's no, that's not what I'm saying. But you know what I mean? Like whatever, as you get older, your interests change, and like, I mean, I pretty much just do
Have my interest
chores, and
changed that
so
much?
what?
Have my interest really that changed that much?
Yours haven't, mine have. So anyway, but I think that that's
Okay.
something that we still, always can connect on. Like, it's cool. You'll always like bring things home and be like, "Hey, look at this," and I'm like, "Ooh, like I really like the art on that." And you have a really good idea of the kind of art and storytelling that I like, and
Yeah.
so you'll always do fun surprises and stuff for me, for my birthday and for gifts here and there. So, yeah, and I mean, like we've made comics kind of the basis of like, we like go down to Portland and go to Cosmic Monkey. That's always like a fun thing. So we go on
Yeah.
like hunting trips for comics even, and I think that's something that we really enjoy. And I
Yeah.
could tell your anthology story, but I'll leave that for another time too.
That is not comics related, by the way. So
Yes, it is.
that's
Because I also
well.
like to make comics. And it's like informal, obviously, right now, but it's like I like to capture funny things that happen on the regular.
You're a very good artist. There's no doubt. Like you well, no, don't even start. Don't even start. The
Thank you.
thing is the thing is that comics have been such an important part of our relationship in a sense to where I think that I mean because as music and I think comics have really helped I think brought us together in a lot of ways obviously
Hmm.
and I think comics have kind of replaced music in a sense to where that we can analyze like there's a lot more to analyze in comics I think almost now than music because music is so it can be it's more diverse in the sense to where like you can get more out of I think music simply than comics you have to really kind of dig deep sometimes to get comic books but I think that's kind of the beauty of it too right I think that's one thing I've actually learned from you was how much comics can be used in such a different art form than just it's like it's taking the ideas of film and TV, having like close-ups, medium shots, whatever, but incorporating that into a larger picture of collage, essentially, right? And then you've kind of helped me understand that how even the storytellers are saying something within the page of artistically that sounds too pretentious but that's just reality that's what it is and that's something you've always really helped me understand about comic books about how they're trying to say something more even within the layouts of the story and as I've learned that through with you and everything it's been really cool to understand and like it sucks because I wish you had more time. I know you do chores all the time, and obviously I try to help you all the time too. Again, this is therapy session, everybody. But the cool thing is that I know you're open to like like reading Vision. We wrote Vision for a while. I know you've never finished it, but you really
Vision's
liked it.
so good. Yeah, it's really
Yeah,
good.
word. Vision's amazing, and maybe we'll have you on for the show for that. And obviously, you love V for Vendetta. I mean, a lot of Alan Moore stuff. That's why you like that. Obviously, I don't think you'd like later Alan Moore, to be honest.
No, and I mean, I really have like, I think taken like a hard left turn too and gone to like really arty things, super arty
Well,
things, which are
and
like
if you,
my, kind of my faves. But
yeah, and also people, if you haven't done so already, please hit the subscribe button and like button. I'm very bad about saying those things. I really appreciate it. It helps the channel grow and all that good stuff. No, Alan Moore he's got a lot going on. So yeah, so we talked about like a little fun game that you failed completely at. We talked about comics in our relationship. I will really quickly will say that Watchmen being like a real center of like our comic book love together is very interesting because it's so like it almost feels it goes against who we are because we're so like anti like that's too popular. Ugh. At least for me, like I definitely kind of rebel against the norm of like this is so good. It's like yeah, it's all right. But Watchmen is just good. You just can't
it's so good.
Watchmen. It's so
Yeah.
good. So I mean, whatever. So I wanted to have you on here to celebrate Valentine's Day because I love you and I wanted everyone to show why I love you because you love comics so much. And you take me out to pasture about. Well, no, hold on. What? What's so funny?
Nothing.
No, just tell. No, stay it here. Everyone, only 3 people are going to ever watch this video. So who cares, right? Like, just out with it. Just out with it.
No, it's just silly. You're like, I want everyone to see why I love you because you love comics.
True. You do love comics.
I do love comics, yeah.
So, no, but you put me to work when it comes to, oh God, hold on, you'll love this. He watches the Hermits. What does the clouds do? Hi, Chris. I love you, Chris. So one thing about the binge that I'm trying to do a better job of is incorporating more artistic, different kinds of comic books. And I definitely, obviously, I love superheroes. I'm always going to love superheroes. It's never going to change. But the medium's bigger than superheroes, obviously. I know that. And I'm trying to get out there and get more people to read comic books. And because obviously some people out there, or a lot of people out there, are going to not want to read superhero comics. You're definitely one of them. So, cool. Nothing wrong with that. So, this was a great opportunity for Valentine's Day because it lands on a show day for us. And I want to show people that the comic binge is more than superhero comics. We're about the whole medium. So who better than This Is Comic Binge than to get on here and talk about some recommendations that you want people to read for comic books. So tell us, I guess, it doesn't matter. You can go whatever order. I got it all saved in here. What do you want to recommend first to our esteemed 2 people audience?
Cool. So, just a quick side note. Comics, you kind of touched on this a little bit, but like the best thing, obviously, the greatest thing, and like the thing that makes it different, which I guess this is like very obvious, is just that interplay between like words and like visuals, and how those 2 can make meaning. And you can do like such amazing things with it, which is why I love it so much. But the comics that I'm going to talk about today, because I think there are a lot of things, a lot of art forms that can make you think. And I feel like even with superhero movies, I can watch it and think about it. Usually there's not a
all right, don't be putting through slog. Don't put superhero movies through the slog because they're not freaking Antichrist by freaking Hans von Trier or whatever his name is. Okay,
it has it. Did you say Hans von Trier?
Lars von Trier.
Okay, well at least you got his name.
This is not Lars von Trier movie. I don't want to watch it.
No. Okay, I'm going somewhere with this.
It's not Hereditary, so it's not worth it for me to watch.
Oh my God, let me talk. Okay, I'm going somewhere with this. Even though like movies that are kind of like don't really have a lot behind them necessarily, right? Like they're kind of hitting you over the head with the themes and things like that. You can like take time to like think about it. A lot of times though,
like
art
movies
doesn't always like make me feel, which I know that's kind of like the whole thing, right? But the comics that I picked today are ones that like I love so much because they make me feel something so intensely. So the first one that I'm going to talk about is my ultimate fave, which is Linda Berry's The Greatest of Marlis. Linda Berry, if y'all don't know, is amazing. She is from Seattle, and was around here. She's from Seattle, yeah. She like grew up in I think like the CD or like on Beacon Hill, and
that does not surprise me.
She's my absolute fave. Like there is something about her that is just like perfect and amazing.
So, can I ask you, how did you discover her?
Yeah, so Carrie introduced me to her.
Oh, Carrie.
Carrie
talk about
did.
Carrie for a minute. Yeah, talk about Carrie a little bit here.
Yeah, so Carrie is my bestie. She is the one that I do the podcast with. The Depression trilogy. Oof. Lars von Trier P. Just PS. Anyway.
All right. Anyway,
me too, Chris. Oh, Melancholia. Oh, That movie like made me sick to my stomach
all
for
right,
seriously like a month.
Enough RT film talk.
Anyway, okay. Okay, so Linda Berry though. Oh, sorry, Carrie. Carrie is my best friend. We used to teach together. She was a librarian. I was an English teacher. We worked very closely together. We both really love anything that has to do with any kind of darkness. And we have a podcast called My Dark Hour. You could listen to it.
It's in, I put a
anyway,
link in the I put a link in the description as well, by the way.
Oh, thanks. Yeah, so you can see Linda Berry's art is like very simple, but there is literally nothing funnier in the world. This one in particular, I love the haircut one. They like her like mom makes it better. She cuts all the hair off, or her aunt, and then like tapes like scotch tape bows on their hair. But I think that there's something about Linda Berry that like captures what my childhood was like so intensely. Like her comics are very short, right? They're usually like 4 panels, and she captures things that are so profound in such a short period of time that like they give you that like feeling in your gut, like, oh God, like the nostalgia is so real. And you know, I think some of her other like Marvelous, The Greatest of Marvelous is hilarious and funny. But she has other books that are they're rough. There's always a tinge of darkness, I think, in all of this. You know, she clearly came from like in a very abusive like household, and like there's probably a lot of other stuff that was going on in her childhood that was not good. But Freddie's stories. Oh, sorry. What?
I'm sorry, I'm gonna interrupt you. It reminds me of Gummo. This whole thing.
Yeah, like it kind of has that like
feel.
It has a feeling like
creepy,
that. Yeah,
weird, too real.
It's not creepy, but I think it is very real. You know,
it's creepy, weird. This isn't like creepy per se, but it just gives me an uncomfortable feeling.
What? No.
Yeah.
No. This is like up. Greatest of Marvelous is really funny.
Gummo gave me a creepo feeling.
No, duh. Gummo, it does give you that feeling. It like makes you feel kind of dirty. Anyway, but like, okay, she has other books though, like Freddy Stories and Cruddy, which is like a novel that she wrote that are they're intense. So
like they're really sad. Street? Like Freddy's dead?
His name's Freddy. It's a boy. It's
the whole thing.
You can see Freddy. He's on the front right there. See him?
Oh, which one?
Yeah.
Which one is he?
This is Freddy.
Where?
The one that says Freddy on the cover. See the boy?
I can't read. Oh, I see.
There's like a whole comic book that she does about him, and it's very
she's a
sad.
Spin-off, so it's a franchise.
Yeah.
So she's a franchise person.
Yes.
Nice, Linda Berry.
You're the worst.
Nice. So she is about commerce, not just art. And I like it.
Oh my God. Okay, this is like turning in a very negative way. I don't like it.
I'm just joking.
Anyway.
I love the fact that Linda Berry has obviously inspired you and Carrie and lots of other people to do comic books. And, you know, I love the fact that you guys love her so much. And listen, it all jokes aside, like I do love the fact that it's so simple. Even though I'm not personally drawn to stuff like this. This is not the most engaging thing for me. Like I understand the content is more the key here, not the layouts and things like that. Obviously, going back to like this reminds me of like almost an RT version of like Calvin and Hobbes and Garfield, if you will, you know, like that kind of mentality. It's like not really the sequential art is so simple. It's not really the basis of, you know, the story. It's literally just there to like get you from point A to point B. You know what I mean? Which is not bad.
Well, the great thing about Linda Berry is she like teaches these courses where she's like
See, Morgan, you like Adam.
I love everyone on here. It's true, Adam.
Listen, really quick. I just want to say that only like 3 people probably watch this video, which is fine. I don't care. But do you remember a time? So Adam's gonna laugh. There was a time a couple years ago, or it feels like a couple years ago now. We were talking, and I'll never forget. We're in the car, and I was playing around with StreamYard, and Adam was on. He was on the thing, and you were really mad at me because I was spending too much money on comic books of all things. And I remember, I think Nugget was only like 6 months old, and you were like driving. You were mad. You're like, you know, you can't keep buying stuff, right? Like on the thing, it was just like, like you're hearing, like you are so mad and like so serious as you're like
Oh
laughing and all red right now. Like
my
Adam's like probably
god.
the most uncomfortable feeling ever. Like, I was like, dude, I'm really sorry you heard that.
That
So,
is hilarious.
Adam's that person.
Okay, but you know what? Like I honestly say that to you like on a daily basis in
That's
like that
fair.
exact
That's
same
fair.
tone. So
That's fair. That's
yeah.
fair. So, but Adam's the shit. I love Adam to death. So, Adam, we love you, and you and Morgan get along very well. So, anyway, all right. I apologize.
So
All
what I
right.
was gonna say though about Linda Berry, the thing that's great about her is that she teaches a class and she's like everyone can make comics. She has a book called How to Draw Comics and it's pretty much like, hey, get your pad of paper out and like draw comics. It's everyone has something to say and it doesn't matter how like good of a drawer you think you are, because you
That's
can make
true.
comics.
That's
So
true. You can.
she's very egalitarian. She's wonderful. Like I love her. I would love to be in one of her
All right.
courses.
So
So it's Linda Berry.
so yeah, Linda Berry,
Greatest of
go
Marvelous. You
check it
should
out.
pick this up. You'll laugh forever about it.
So, all right. So who's next?
Okay, so let's go. I'm gonna go in the same vein because this is another one who's kind of like it's like the I forget what they call it. It's like primitive art or something. But like folks who don't like traditionally like good comic book artists. So this is Unlovable. And I have volumes 1, 2, and 3 here, and they're amazing. They're so good. They're my fave, like in second to Linda Berry. So this is by Esther Pearl Watson. She actually is an artist, like a painter. I think both of these people, I mean, Linda Berry and Esther Pearl Watson went to art school, but obviously they make art that is not. It looks like a kid drew it kind of thing. Hers I love because it's all black ink and then it has like the watercolors on it. And each book has a different color inside. So like this is volume 3. As you can see, it has like pink. I think volume 2 has green, or volume 1 maybe has green. But this is another one that like so captures what it's like to be a preteen girl. It like makes me feel sick in a good way kind of. But I think like, I mean, the book's called Unlovable. It's about this girl Tammy. Oh, that's Kim. So Kim is like the cute friend who like gets all the boys, right? So I think like this captures what it feels like to be kind of like a not super hot girl when you're a preteen and you're like trying to find your place in the world. But so many of the things that Tammy does, it's just like, wow, that was definitely me when I was like 12 years old. And just the situations that she goes through, they're a lot of times really silly, but kind of profound and sad in a way. And funny. So yeah, this is another one that I think is excellent and so good, especially if you once were a preteen girl, or if you want to be a
Well,
preteen girl.
fair.
This is what it feels like.
I'm pretty sure I got this for you for Christmas.
I think you got me volume 1 and 2 pack. This one I think I got volume 3 I got at Powell's.
I got you.
It was on one of, or maybe it was a Cosmic Monkey. It was on one of our trips to Portland.
Well, we should do that again sometime. Hint, hint.
Can't keep spending all this money.
Yeah, yes, we can. Anyway, all right, yeah. No, this is not this is not my comics of choice, but this is definitely interesting. I think though too. I mean, I do find this. I love the fact that this part of the medium is not something that I go to, but I do like really respect it because it is very interesting at the same time. Like I can't help but look at this and be like, this is fascinating to me. I love this. This is great. Like this is using comic book medium in a different way than the traditional, like, here's a story. Like this is just a lot more broad, kind of like trying to create a general feeling, if you will, more than you are getting a story. Does that make any sense?
Yes. But I'm also not gonna lie, like, even though the art looks really simple, I think it's like also really hard to make
Same, Chris.
art look that simple. So
No,
Oh,
no,
I
no.
missed wait, I missed what Chris said. What did he say?
Hold on. All right, this is totally true.
Oh yes. Oh my god. You should read this right now. And I mean, I don't know. I feel like a lot of these, like I think even though Linda Berry was like a kid in the 60s and like clearly Tammy was a kid in like the 80s, early 90s. It resonates really like with me as someone who was like young in the 2000s, early 2000s. But I think the next generation is really changing, but I'm sure there are things that are always going to be the same, right? Like there's always going to be that cute friend who's like all the boys are into and you kind of hate her, and she also gives you some kind of status and what that feels like and the things that you'll do to curry favor with that person. So
I just wanted
to see.
I want to remind you of a time when I was talking about the Breakfast Club and how I love that part where the janitor tells the principal, like, kids haven't changed, you have. And you're like, huh. You're like trying to talk all crap about it, but like that's not really true or something like that. Do you remember this?
I don't know, P.
Yeah, exactly. You conveniently forget. That's all I gotta say. You just give me crap about saying that. I say it too because that's true, and you'd be like, "No, it's not." Now
I think kids have changed.
Anyway, after you just said they don't, basically.
Well, I think the internet has changed kids. I think social media has changed kids. That's a conversation for a different time, though. Oh, you can go listen to our social media podcast in My Dark Hour because social media is the darkest topic of all. So if you want to hear
or our darkest hour, which one is it?
It's My Dark Hour.
I kind of like the name In My Dark Hour. I think that sounds better.
In My Dark Hour.
It's I don't know. I think that sounds more dramatic and also ironic at the same time. Wouldn't you agree?
No, I don't like
it. I reached out to Carrie about this. I'll have to go message
Carrie's
her
gonna
somehow.
Hate it.
Oh, Carrie won't even want. Carrie hates everything. She won't even listen. She won't even listen to my show with you on it. The only time she'll do it is when she's on it.
I didn't even tell her I was on here.
No, that's what hurts my feelings. You're hurting my viewership.
Wow. Okay. Sorry.
All right. What's next?
Okay. The next one is Goblin Girl. So if the other ones like make you know what it feels like to be a lady when you're like a little kid and a preteen, this is how it feels to be a girl when you're in your early 20s. So this is by Moa Romanova. She's Swedish. It is like a memoir. It's pretty like autobiographical. Yeah, right, Chris? I know. I think that there are some things that will endure and stay the same as time goes on. But the internet has really changed kids too.
So. I love how you give Chris credit, but not me. Anyway, moving on.
I give you credit. Anyway, so this is like totally, well, it's pretty autobiographical. And it's about like a young woman who's like navigating like gross, weird dating. And then, like friend relationships. And then also she is dealing with like severe anxiety and depression after having this weird psychotic break that was brought on after like smoking like synthetic marijuana. But it was like causing these panic attacks. Like that's really what happened to her in real life, and the character's also experiencing that. But I think it not only captures like how gross it feels to be in your early 20s and how unsettling, because it's a very challenging time, I think, as I'm sure, for everyone. Obviously, I've only ever experienced it as a lady. And so as a lady, it's really sucky. I hate it. But the other thing is that it captures what it's like to be super depressed and anxious really well. There's like this one part where she is talking to her like therapist about just like doing productive things. And she's like, it's like if someone were to come and wake you up in the middle of the night from a dead sleep and be like, let's go outside and dig this hole. And you're like, what? No, that's what it feels like. And I'm like, wow, that like captures depression so perfectly. So yeah, Goblin Girl is excellent. It's so good. It's also really like funny, and you can see the art is pretty cool. Yeah, it's fun. It's a good one.
I just want to say that this looks familiar because I got this for
You
you for
did
your
get this for
birthday.
me.
You had no idea what this was, and
I
I had
didn't.
found it, and I was like, "This is something for my beat beats."
Did you get it at
So,
Fantagraphics?
of course, I did.
Yeah. We live by Fantagraphics, and it's
And for and it's funny for as much as I love comic books, I've gone there a grand total of like 5 times in 10 years. That's
I
so
love
embarrassing.
Fantagraphics.
It's
Yeah, it's
so
because you're too busy
embarrassing.
going to all the other ones. But
I mean,
Fantagraphics is where it's
the
at.
Pentagon's fantastic, fantastic. So,
Yeah, and Goblin
uh,
Girl is really worth a read. So this is the thing. When I was picking out books, I was like, I didn't realize it until after I had picked everything, but I was like, oh my gosh, almost all of them are by ladies, which is I do really like a lot of male
what's wrong with
comics
that?
too. I'm just saying, or male artists. But it was weird that like my go-to were just like a bunch of lady comics.
What's wrong with that?
So,
There's
and
nothing
it
wrong
was
with that.
all for the reason that they capture, I think, what it feels like to be
Yeah,
a human
totally.
on this earth really well.
All right, we have a few more. What do we got left?
Okay, the next one that I want to talk about is my favorite thing is monsters.
Oh yeah.
Okay, and I feel like this is honestly like a doy no duh, like everyone loves this book so much, and I'm like saying nothing that like people haven't already said, but like holy shit, this book is incredible. Volume one. This is volume one. It's by Emile Ferris, who's also a lady. I'm sure most people know that she was bitten by a mosquito and contracted West Nile virus and became paralyzed. And this was kind of how she lost the ability to use her right hand. And so this was kind of one of the ways that she like helped to heal herself and come back from all of that. And you can see like it's in a notebook. It's like it's written in the format of a notebook.
It's just incredible.
It is incredible. It's all done with ballpoint pen, which is also incredible. Like, oh, you just take a big pen and create this. That's amazing. The artwork in here is absolutely insane. I mean, like, it's so crazy. Like you have to spend so much time looking at every page because it's so crazy beautiful. And so yeah, so this is volume one, and they keep saying like, oh, volume two is going to come out. Volume two is going to come out, and it like has been years. And I think the consensus is that like volume two might not come out because the ending is like it kind of leaves off on this like cliffhanger. So I don't want to reveal too much because there's like a lot of really important things that happen in this book, but like there's a murder mystery, and there's a girl who's kind of navigating the horrors of growing up, and like she's trying to figure out this like what's happening with the horror of this like murder mystery and like being queer, and yeah, there's a lot at play here. And then she also like her love of horror comics comes through. So like each one of them, let's see, she'll like recreate these covers. Hold on, I'm trying to find one. Oh, I should have done this first. Okay, like here's an example. Oh, you can't see it. There you go. So it looks like, she like makes it like it's the cover of like a horror comic. And there's a bunch of different ones throughout. But it's good. It's so good. It won like a gazillion awards because it's like,
yeah,
brilliant. It's amazing.
I haven't read. I've looked through this a lot, and it's something that we'll definitely cover on the binge with you and grab some other people, because it's definitely one of the more, I think, important works in the last, I'd say, like 10 years of just the comic book medium, I think. Again, this to me demonstrates, and again, I haven't read the whole thing. I've looked through a lot, like I said, and again, one of the beautiful things about comic books, I think you would agree with this, is that sometimes how you appreciate work. People who don't read comics very often, they want to get into the medium. They wonder like, well, what do you do like after you read, like whatever. It's like the beautiful thing about comic books, and I think my favorite things is Monsters is a great example of why the medium's so good, is that you don't all have to always sit down and read it. You can kind of casually go through and relive things without having to put a movie on and have to go through and like, yeah, you can go through and watch certain scenes in movies, but with comic books, you can kind of relive panels. You can relive, just quick moments. It doesn't have to be a whole sit down. You can just kind of grab it and peruse through it and go, gosh, this is so good. And I think my favorite things with monsters is a great example of that, of showing you how beautiful the medium is, because it invokes so much without having to dive into the story. Even though obviously story is going to be a worthwhile thing, it's such a beautiful thing to look at that you don't really need to always have. You don't have to always sit down to appreciate it, to like read it. You can just appreciate the art and look through and the moments and the situations for what they are. And I think that's such a beautiful and underrated thing about comic books that people don't really realize when they get into the medium. They think it's just like, oh, I read like a book and I'm done. No, the comics are different that way. You can really sit down and just analyze and live the moments like this. Like, it's a great, beautiful drawing of this here and what it's depicting. This is the thing about the comic medium that people just don't appreciate and don't really know how to experience. I think they knew they could do that. Like, they know they could do that, but they know they should be encouraged to do that. I think this book definitely does that, which I think is an important aspect of comic books that people don't really talk about much. So yeah, this is definitely something we're going to obviously talk about eventually with the binge, but maybe even under the comic book masterpiece line. I don't know. We'll see. So yes,
it is a masterpiece.
Yeah, absolutely. So
it took 6 years to create,
oh,
like 400 pages, I think, is what it was, which is a lot. But
that's a lot.
Yeah,
that's a lot. All right, what's the last one you got for us, my love?
So the last one I don't have a copy of, but it's Sabrina. Oof. This won the Man Booker Prize. Or wait, no, sorry, it didn't win the Man Booker Prize. I think it only was like suggested.
Did
for
you
it.
say Man Book? What'd you say?
Man Booker Prize? Oh my god!
What the hell is that? Hold on, I want people to comment right now. If Adam or Chris or anyone who's watching, do you know what the hell she's talking? I have no idea what the hell she's talking about.
Okay, maybe it's because I'm a Man Booker fangirl.
Well, obviously.
But it's a literary prize, and all the books. So they have like a international one and just like a not international one.
That's
an American one.
That's a beautiful way of saying it.
I know. And every year they name, they have like a list. So this is okay. No one steal this idea for a podcast, but Carrie and I, this is going to be our next podcast.
Oh God. Yeah.
It's going to be called Booker Worms. And then we're going to read every Man Booker winner from since the beginning on and talk about it. So anyway, it's if you haven't heard of the Man Booker Prize, you should definitely read the books on there, because they are always they're beautiful. They're always so good. They're always kind of dark too. So Sabrina, if you guys have not heard about this one, holy shit. This book actually changed my life. I'm not joking. And you can see the art is also very simple and spare. And there's a reason for that. And it really creates this very kind of spare, sort of dead, tone through the whole thing. And the reason for that is that this is a book about the murder of a young woman and how it affects those in her family and her loved ones afterwards. Especially because people on the internet get involved. The video of her attack comes out. People are saying that she's a crisis actor and that it's fake. And these people are getting it's, so it's getting into the whole thing with, people coming in and the deniers who threaten family members and stuff like that. But this book fucked me up so bad that I
language.
I know, sorry. I lost my love of true crime because not that before I would just not think about how it affected people or their families or anything, but it just the way that this book depicts our the media's obsession with it and people's gross, weird, unhealthy obsession and the links that people go to and the lack of caring that folks have in the wake of that. Like we don't even think of murder victims as like humans. It like messed me up so badly that I couldn't even, like, we had to like take a break from the podcast, and it was a whole thing.
Wow.
So so Sabrina, like, it will, especially if you are a true crime fan, it will mess you up in the best way possible. But I know that has also Sabrina's gotten a lot of hype, and for good reason.
It's funny because when you first said Sabrina, I'm like, oh, you're really into that old school Sabrina the Teenage Witch.
Yeah, nice. The Teenage Witch. Yeah.
Hell yeah, that's what I'm about. Well, that's awesome. Like I definitely the monsters one we're definitely gonna be covering at some point. But if you ever want to, obviously, you can do a show about any of those comics you want, my love. So just let me know, and I'll arrange it. Thank you so much for coming on. I know it's kind of weird to come on here and like talk about comics, and especially a bunch of superhero nerds being like, "What are you talking about, Batman?"
No,
like they'll be like dislike and then like unsubscribe, screw this, but no, I don't really care either way. But no, I obviously my love for you is eternal, and I appreciate you more than anything, and I want to make sure you have a voice in this as much as I do, obviously. So, I just appreciate everything you do for me and our daughter. And yeah, I don't mean to get all sappy here, but it's reality. Shucks. So anyway.
Well, thanks for having me. It's fun. It's fun taking like our conversations that we have and like doing it
in our therapy sessions.
Doing it on different cameras in the same house.
Yeah, I know. Yeah. Where can people find your guys' podcast?
Oh God, we're on Twitter, but we don't check it. What?
Say Apple Podcast.
Oh, oops, sorry. On Apple Podcasts, My Dark Hour.
Oh, yeah, please. It's link in the description, everybody.
Yeah. We do lots of swearing though, so just FYI.
Yeah, lots of swearing. That's pretty much you guys. So, yeah, you're not on social media because you're probably smarter than all that.
I mean, we have a social media, but like we don't check it.
You aren't, but you are.
Oh, I'm not on social media. Aw, happy Valentine's Day, Chris.
Yeah, Chris is the best. Goddamn, I love that guy. So yeah, you can follow the Binge on Twitter at Binge Comic, and then you can also follow us on Instagram. All of it's down there. If you guys see it, it's all fun and games. So, and for those who don't know, if you're wondering what this picture is behind us and what we had in the beginning, this is literally our wedding topper at for our wedding cake. So
so I need to say something though. Okay, so number one, they didn't have a fat one, unfortunately. Number two, she's supposed to look annoyed, but like the way that they painted her mouth, it doesn't look annoyed. Like she's supposed to be going like. I actually typed in annoyed bride to put on top of the cake, so. She's supposed to be annoyed. She has her hands crossed, or she has her arms crossed.
Hands are crossed. I mean, what do you expect?
Yeah.
Come on.
Anyway, I just had to say that because it doesn't look like an annoyed bride. I just had to say. I'm very annoyed all the time.
That is valid. That is valid and understanding. So anyway, everyone, thank you so much for for all the new subscribers and people who've liked the videos and who've been supportive. Really appreciate it. March is going to end up being a nutty month. And I can't wait. But next week, we're going to be doing a little mini review of Quantum Mania and talking about comic books, what to read afterwards a little bit, have some fun, have some surprise guests, maybe, who knows. But yeah, March is shaping up to be a pretty insane month. I'm excited. So again, my love for being on the show with us. We'll have you on soon. We'll do my favorite thing is monsters. I want to get you on for Miracle Man, obviously, and also Vision. I want you to finally finish that goddamn thing. So
you mean Miracle Man, one of your second favorite?
It is good. Miracle Man's amazing. Shut up, you're gonna love it. So anyway, all right, guys.
Thanks everyone. Happy Valentine's Day.
Happy Valentine's Day. Chris isn't here, so I'll just say it for him. Read more comics. Good night.